Hey everybody, welcome back to the Decaffeinated Ukulele. My name is Paul. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. Instead of looking at one song and breaking it down and doing a playthrough and all that like I normally do, today we're going to look at four very common chord progressions that are behind thousands of songs. And we're going to talk a little bit about the musical alphabet and also triads and the Roman numerals so that you can literally do this with any key, a song that's in any key. You can figure out, oh, this is the 1, 4, 5 chord progression and so on. All right, so grab your ukulele, grab something warm, hot, iced, frozen to drink, and let's dive into this fascinating topic together. All right, four common chord progressions that are behind a lot of songs, many songs, thousands of songs, actually, when you stop and think about it. The first thing we need to talk about is the musical alphabet. And so here on the screen, you see the letters that compose the musical alphabet. You notice it's A through G, and when you get to G, it just loops back to A. So there is no like J chord or K chord or M chord, any of those. The only exception would be the Z chord, which we do sometimes just for a percussive effect. But that's really not a chord, that's more of just a sound, right? So these are the letters that we use, A through G, looping back to A, that make up all musical scales and all triads, which is another name for a chord. Okay, a chord or a triad meaning three. A chord has to have three notes in it, at least three. You can have many more than three notes in it, but if it only has two notes together is just called an interval. Okay, so three notes together, then it officially becomes a chord or a triad. So we're going to look at some common chord progressions that are behind many songs. And this first one is called the 4 chords progression. Okay, in it we have the 1 chord, the 5 chord, the minor 6 chord, and the 4 chord. In the key of C, those translate to the 1 chord is a C chord, it's a major C. All right, C major chord, right? The 5 chord in the key of C is a G. The minor 6 in the key of C is A minor. And the 4 chord in the key of C is an F major chord. Okay, so easy when you're in the key of C to kind of visualize these and to figure these out, what these Roman numerals stand for. So if you take a look, the 1 chord, because we're in the key of C, C is our home base. So the 1 is going to be the C. Okay. The 5, if we go up the musical alphabet from C, so we have C being 1, D being 2, E being 3, F being 4, and G 5. So you just go right up the musical alphabet, and that's how you figure out what chords correspond to the Roman numerals. Okay? So if G is the 5 chord, because there's nothing after G, we just loop back to A, then A minor is the 6th chord is always a minor chord. Okay, so the A minor, that's why it's in lowercase instead of an uppercase Roman numeral. It's a lowercase Roman numeral. It stands for minor. Okay, and then we have the 4 chord. Back up a little bit, back down the musical alphabet would be an F chord. The 4 chord is always major. Okay, so talking about these majors and minors in the Roman numeral system in any key. The 1 is always going to be a major. The 2 is going to be a minor chord. Okay, the 3 is also going to be a minor chord. That's why it's lowercase. The 4 is major. The 5 is major. The 6 is minor. The 7 chord is kind of unique. It is in lowercase minor, but look how it has the little circle after the minor 7. Okay, so the 7 chord, it's minor, but it's a diminished chord. Okay, so that's why you see that little circle there, and then back to 1 would be a C major chord. Okay, why am I talking about all this? Because once you understand how to label the Roman numerals on a scale like this, then you can do this with a song that's in any key, okay? So, for example, what if we had a song that was in the key of G, for example, okay? Well, how would we do the Roman numerals? Well, easy. Let's start with the 1 chord. That would just be a G, right? The 2 chord would be an A minor. Then the 3 would be a B minor. The 4 chord would be a C major, right? The 5 chord would be a D major. The 6 chord would be an E minor. The 7 chord would be that F diminished, and then back to G again, okay? So notice I didn't play the F diminished because that's tricky. So anyway, so you see how you can do this with any key, with a song that's in any key. You can figure out what are the Roman numerals, and then you can like start thinking about, you know, chord progressions. Is this song one of these chord progressions that we're going to be talking about today? It's sort of a challenge. Okay, so our first one is the 4 chords progression. We have the 1, the 5, the minor 6, and the 4 chord. And I'm doing this in the key of C just to keep things simple for this video. Okay, for each of these different chord progressions, I'm going to give you a couple of examples of songs. So if you haven't grabbed your ukulele, now would be the time to grab it. Pause the video, grab your uke, and we can play along with some of these, okay? So the first one example I have here is I Can't Help Falling in Love, Elvis Presley, all right? So in the key of C, that very first line here, you will see the 1, 5, minor 6, 4 progression, all right? So we have wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. And notice how the whole passage, those 2 lines that we just did together, it doesn't adhere strictly to the 1, 5, minor 6, 4 formula. As long as you have some semblance of that in there, you could call this the 4 chords progression, okay? The other example that I have for you is this tune Down Under, which I love, by Men at Work, the Australian rock group. So this one actually does adhere strictly to the 1, 5, minor 6, 4 in this part of the song, okay, which is in the chorus, okay? So let's try it together. Here we go, right on your screen there. Do you come from a land down under, where women glow and men plunder? Can't you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. Okay, so really cool how that's just strictly the 4 chord progression with no alterations, kind of like I Can't Help Falling in Love. But I would still call that the 4 chords progression as well. Let's move on to our next chord progression that we have, and this is the 1, 4, 5 progression. Man, this shows up in a lot of songs, and it's kind of sometimes a little tricky to find a song that is strictly 1, 4, 5, 1, 4, 5. There's going to be some sort of mixture of those chords playing around together, but these are the most basic chords. These chords are behind literally thousands of songs, okay? So one example that I have for you here is Twist and Shout. We're going to stay in the key of C. So the 1, 4, 5, 1 in the key of C, just a reminder, is our C chord. 4 would be F, and 5 would be G, okay? So let's try a little bit of Twist and Shout, and this actually does adhere to the formula C, F, G the whole way through. Okay, so here we go. Shake it up, baby, now shake it up, baby. Twist and shout, twist and shout. Come on, come on, come on, come on, baby. Now come on, baby, come on and work it on out. Work it on out. And so on, okay? So there you go, 1, 4, 5. Another great song that is using these chords is Lean on Me. That was sung by Bill Withers. Okay, so in the key of C still. Let's do this one in 1-4-5. Here we go. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Okay? Notice that this one does not adhere strictly to 1-4-5 like Twist and Shout did. In this one we have the 1 chord, the 4, before we get to the 5, goes back to 1, and then the 5. I would still definitely lump this in with the 1-4-5 chord progression, however, because those are all the chords in the song. So there you go. All right, our next progression is called the 50s progression. This is a fun one. A lot of songs from the 1950s, early rock songs, are in this chord progression. We have 4 chords in the 50s progression. We start with our 1 chord again, which in the key of C would just be C. Then we jump all the way to the minor 6, the A minor. Then we go to the 4 chord, which is the F, and the 5 chord, which is the G in the key of C. And here's a fun one, especially with the fall just around the corner. I'm recording this in August, and I'm thinking about the fall already. It's my favorite time of year. And my ukulele group, the Midnight Ukulele Society, we always pull this one out in October and try to do it a couple of times. So the Monster Mash, Bobby Pickett. And this is a famous song from the 50s that uses this 50s progression. Okay, so on your C chord. All right, here we go. I was working in the lab late one night, minor C, when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. For my monster from his slab began to rise. 5, and suddenly, to my surprise, he did the mash, and so on. I said minor C when I did the A minor, sorry. That was a weird thing to say. What I meant to say was minor 6, A minor. All right, on that second line. So yeah, and that is a strict adherence to the formula. It's the 1, the minor 6, the 4, the 5. So that's cool. And here's another one, Bruce Channel, Hey Baby. This one also adheres strictly to the formula. So here we go on your C chord. Here's the chorus of the song. Ready? Hey. So there you go, the 50s chord progression. All right, our next one is actually one of my favorites, and it's not as common, but when you start thinking about, there are a lot of songs that use this chord progression. This has got a fancy name. It's called the Andalusian progression because it is traced back to early Spanish and Andalusian folk music and classical music. Okay, so this one is actually, we're gonna be thinking about this in the key of A minor, okay? So the A minor would be our 1 chord, it's a minor chord, okay? Then our 7 chord, we're gonna kind of drop down backwards from A, kind of going backwards down the scale. In this minor scale, the 7 chord is actually gonna be a major. That's gonna be a G major, okay? The 4 chord's another major, it's gonna be an F. And then the 5 chord is going to be an E7. We're going to put the 7 on there just to make it a really strong 5 chord, okay? So this one's a little bit different because we're starting in the minor key, okay? And the Roman numerals are a little different in a minor key, right? So that 1, major 7, G, then the major 6, sorry, is going to be the F, and then the 5 chord is going to be that, okay? I might have called the F chord something else a minute ago. Sorry, it's the major 6. It's the F chord, and then the 5 chord, E7, okay? So it's like we're stepping down 1 degree at a time backwards, okay, from the A minor. And so one of the examples here we have is Hit the Road Jack, Ray Charles, classic tune. And it will sound like this. Hit the road, Jack, don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. Okay, and keeps looping and looping. It's very, very cool. Another one that uses this Andalusian backwards minor progression is Happy Together by the Turtles, okay? So let's start with that A minor again, and we'll just be stepping down backwards, all right? So here we go. Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So happy together. And so on, okay? Another song I can think of that uses this chord progression that we love in the Midnight Ukulele Society is Stray Cat Strut by the Stray Cats. This one is in there. It actually changes keys and steps down from D minor at one point and then goes back to A minor, okay? Black and orange stray cat sitting on a fence. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Same chord progression there. I'm not going to include that example in the description below. I've got linked a kind of a study guide for this video with all of these examples that are chorded out and charted out for you. So please feel free. You won't see that one in that attachment, the PDF. But if you go to the Midnight Ukulele Society website, it's just midnightukulelesociety.com. We have all of our charts that we play there as PDFs, and you can download the Stray Cat Strut one and play it to your heart's content. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you found this useful. I do want to throw down a challenge for you. And here's the challenge. Next time you're working on a song, or maybe even listening to a song on the radio, think about the chord progression. You know, it's a little easier if you have the chord chart with you. So when you're working on a song, you have the chord chart and you're looking at the chords, you know, think about, what is this? Is it mainly just 1, 4, 5? Is there a minor 6 in there? That would be like the 4 chords progression, or it could be the 50s progression, which is like the 4 chords progression kind of mixed up in a different order. Or you might even get lucky and find one that's the Andalusian. Man, that'd be exciting. So anyway, drop me a comment in the comments below. Let me know what you think about this topic. If you like this and you want to explore more videos like these where we kind of dive into music theory a little bit and talk about different things associated with music theory and the ukulele, I would love to make more videos like this. So let me know if this is your bag. And if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, give the channel a subscribe, share this with all your ukulele playing buddies out there, and I will see you next time on the Decaffeinated Ukulele.